pianos, 8 hands. A unique combination that's rarely performed in public. Meet the Estrella Quartet, the only group of its kind in New Zealand. 4 musicians with different playing styles working together to become one with an ensemble sound.
The challenge is to provide enough variety in the sound of the piano so that we can sound as interesting as a string quartet or as a wind ensemble. So a lot of what we do is layering and making different colours on top of playing together. I guess that's the essential chamber music ensemble.
It's very different from solo playing. It's a lot harder, I think, in aspects like we can't do whatever we want to do because there's 3 other members that we have to think about. So,
Estrella Quartet was formed last year as part of chamber group assignments at the University of Auckland School of Music.
These 4 have decided to do something quite unusual and put themselves into this 8-handed 2-piano group, which is extremely difficult, actually, as a group to find repertoire, to work it. It's a very hard combination to work in, so they've given themselves a tough task.
Tough, but they made it. They received the university's award in chamber music last year and were finalists at the Royal Overseas League Chamber Music competition. These much awarded and talented young women are passionate about music. Judy Lee has a bachelor degree in music as well as in science. Somi Kim is an active chamber musician and a choir singer. Cindy Tsao is also a violinist, a concertmaster, and was a dux of her school.
Well, I guess at high school I tried to do as much as I could. I was actually more academically focused than musically. I thought I put piano, all my music stuff on the side. It was less of a focus for me. It wasn't until when I decided what degree I wanted to do at university when I actually decided to do music for the rest of my life.
Gemma Lee is the new addition in the group. She joined recently after one of the initial members moved to Australia.
It was quite challenging at first because they've already been together for a year and they're much older than me, so they must have had more experience. But with a lot of rehearsals, I've gotten to get used to this ensemble and I'm enjoying it quite a lot.
I think logistically it's difficult to find a room with 2 matched pianos, so we're very lucky that the university has offered us the teaching studios to rehearse in.
When they're not rehearsing, they have fun as friends.
We eat a lot together. I think that's our favourite pastime, eating together.
I think when we've been rehearsing for a long time together and sometimes we need personal space just because some of us are louder than the others.
But on stage, their true sense of showmanship comes out. They might swap places or even change pianos. Finding repertoire is another challenge for this so-called 2 pianos, 8 hands or 8-hand piano ensemble.
We're finding that a lot of the earlier works, they're arrangements based on larger works like orchestral symphonies, because back in those times, there was not a common genre to write for. So it is quite difficult to find pieces which have been written especially for 2 pianos, 8 hands before the 19th, 20th century. But if you look at more modern pieces, it tends to be more composers who have written for this combination.
Apart from playing a rearranged work of Beethoven, the Estrella Quartet are very grateful for the help of 2 New Zealand composers. They've each created a piece especially for them.
They've performed really, really well. Right from the very first performance and rehearsal that I heard, I was really delighted with what they were doing with the piece. They're 4 very fine young women as musicians, and I've been really delighted that they've managed to perform the piece quite a few times now, which is wonderful as a composer to get lots of performances out of a new piece of music.
I took my inspiration from Midsummer Night's Dream by Shakespeare, and there's a character in it who is a little bit of a comic relief, and his name is Bottom, and he is the comic relief, or one of the comic characters in Midsummer Night's Dream. And so I made this piece around him with parts of pathos and sadness, but parts of great self-confidence and a sort of bumbling dance in the middle of it all. We've had a huge amount of fun putting it together, so I've had to put flute parts and clarinet parts and percussion parts right into 2 pianos, and to work with them was huge fun because they're all past students of mine here at university, so it was fun to work together.
A well-deserved accolade for what started as a student chamber group. These fingers look to continue to fly for some time to come.
Well, that brings us to the end of the show this week on Asia Down Under. Thank you for joining us. Join us again next week at the same time. This programme was made with funding from New Zealand On Air.